Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you found yourself searching for your glasses, only to realize they were on your head the whole time. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. It's something so many of us experience as we get older, and while we can laugh about it in the moment deep down, it can feel unsettling. There's this quiet little fear that starts to creep in, one we don't always talk about. A fear that maybe, just maybe, we're starting to lose our mind, that something deeper is happening, that who we are is slipping away in little bits, memory by memory. And the scariest part? We often don't know if it's normal, if it's something we should worry about, or if there's anything we can do about it. But here's what I want to say right up front. What you're feeling is incredibly common, and it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're destined for cognitive decline. What it means is that your brain, like every other part of your body, is changing. And just like we take care of our joints or our heart, we can also care for our mind in meaningful, powerful ways. In this video, we're going to talk openly and honestly about why so many people over 60 start feeling like their mind is slipping. More importantly, we'll talk about what's really happening beneath the surface and how you can gently, day by day, start to take back control, not just of your memory, but of your confidence, your peace of mind, and your joy. Let's start with something that happens so gradually, most people don't even notice it at first: mental overload. As we get older, we've accumulated decades worth of responsibilities, experiences, routines, people to remember, bills to pay, names, faces, birthdays, and it all adds up. The brain isn't less capable, it's just more full. Imagine your brain like a filing cabinet. If you've been putting things in there for 65, 70, even 80 years, eventually it gets crowded. That doesn't mean it's broken. It means it's storing a lifetime of knowledge. So of course it takes a bit longer to find what you're looking for. That pause when you forget a word or someone's name, that's your brain rifling through a very full drawer. And sometimes instead of stopping to wait for the word to come, we panic. We think, oh no, is this it? Is this the beginning of the end? But most of the time, the word pops back into your mind a few minutes later, usually when you've stopped stressing about it. That's your filing cabinet finally clicking open. Now, that doesn't mean we should ignore memory changes entirely. Sometimes forgetfulness can be a red flag, but far more often it's a sign of being distracted, overwhelmed, or simply tired. And let's be honest, there's a lot going on. Even after retirement, life doesn't slow down as much as people think. It just changes shape. You might be managing medications, appointments, finances, caregiving duties, or dealing with grief and major life transitions. All of that weighs on your brain, and stress takes a real toll on your memory. Chronic stress, especially the kind that lingers quietly in the background, can physically change the brain over time. It affects sleep, weakens focus, and interrupts the way short-term memories get stored into long-term ones. So, if you've been feeling forgetful and overwhelmed, it might not be that your memory is failing, it might be that you're carrying too much without even realizing it. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your mind is to create space for rest. And I don't just mean sleep, though good sleep is absolutely essential. I mean the kind of rest that lets your brain exhale. Time without constant noise or stimulation. Time when you're not multitasking, not worrying about the next thing, just being fully present. Whether it's sitting quietly with a cup of tea, taking a slow walk in nature, or even just breathing deeply for a few minutes with your eyes closed, those moments tell your brain you're safe. You don't have to be on high alert all the time. And let's talk about sleep, because it deserves its own spotlight. If you've been sleeping poorly, waking up often during the night, or rising feeling groggy, that could be a big part of why your mind feels foggy during the day. As we age, sleep patterns naturally change. But if your brain isn't getting deep restorative sleep, it can't do its nightly housekeeping, clearing out toxins, consolidating memories, and restoring clarity. Sometimes it's just about small adjustments, like avoiding caffeine late in the day, creating a calming bedtime routine, or using white noise or blackout curtains to create a sleep-friendly environment. Even the temperature of your room can affect how well you sleep. Your mind can't feel sharp if your body hasn't fully rested. They go hand in hand. And here's another thing to keep in mind: isolation. We underestimate how important connection is to brain health. Being around others, having meaningful conversations, laughing, telling stories, it's all exercise for the mind. It keeps your brain engaged and stimulated. If you've been spending more time alone, or if the pandemic made you pull away from social circles, that could be another reason things feel foggy. Human connection isn't just nice, it's necessary. It keeps us sharp, keeps us grounded, and reminds us that we're not alone in what we're going through. When you put all of this together, the overloaded brain, the chronic stress, the lack of rest, and the quiet creep of loneliness, it makes sense why so many seniors start to feel like they're losing their mind. But the truth is, your mind is still there, it's still capable. It just needs a little extra care and attention now. A little more space, a little more support, a little more kindness from others, yes, but also from yourself. Now that we've talked about what's going on under the surface and why you may feel this way, let's continue by looking at a few more habits and tools that can help you feel more in control of your memory and your mind every single day. When it comes to protecting your mind, small changes in your daily routine can make a bigger difference than you might expect. One of the most effective tools you can start using right now today is mental stimulation. Just like your muscles need exercise to stay strong, your brain needs challenge and variety to stay sharp. Now, that doesn't mean you need to learn a new language or master calculus, although if that excites you, go for it. But even simple things like doing a puzzle, learning a new recipe, reading a different genre of book, or playing a card game you haven't played in years, these are all fantastic workouts for your brain. It's less about what you do and more about stretching your mind in new directions. Think of it like brushing off the cobwebs. When you do something unfamiliar, even if it's small, your brain forms new connections. And the more connections it forms, the better it functions. You're not just improving memory, you're building resilience. And speaking of connection, don't underestimate the power of doing these activities with others. Social interaction doesn't have to mean big events or loud group settings. A quiet afternoon with a friend, a phone call with a sibling, or even joining an online book club or local hobby group, these moments stimulate your brain in a way that solo tasks can't always reach. Conversation forces your brain to focus, recall, and respond. You might laugh at how many times you and your friends tell the same stories, but even retelling them is good for your memory. It's repetition, pattern recognition, and engagement, all wrapped in human warmth. And laughter, by the way, is one of the best stress relievers and cognitive boosters we have. Now, there's something else that tends to get overlooked, yet it plays a crucial role in how your brain functions: what you put on your plate. Nutrition has a massive impact on brain health, especially as we age. Foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and vitamins aren't just good for your body, they're fuel for your mind. You might have heard of the term brain food, and that's not just a marketing gimmick. Blueberries, leafy greens, nuts, fatty fish like salmon, olive oil, turmeric, these foods support memory, reduce inflammation, and can even help slow age-related cognitive decline. On the flip side, a diet filled with processed foods, high sugar, and trans fats can do the opposite. It's not about being perfect or giving up your favorite treats. It's about being mindful of what you eat most of the time. Your brain needs nourishment just as much as your bones and muscles do. And if you're unsure where to start, even something as small as swapping white bread for whole grain or adding a handful of walnuts to your breakfast can be a great first step. And let's not forget hydration. A dehydrated brain is a foggy brain. Most of us don't drink enough water during the day, especially when we're not feeling thirsty as often as we used to. But staying hydrated helps your brain function better, improves concentration, and can even ease that heavy, slow sensation many people describe as mental fatigue. Try keeping a water bottle nearby or sipping herbal teas throughout the day. The goal isn't to drown yourself, it's simply to stay consistent. You'd be amazed how much clearer your mind feels when your body has what it needs to thrive. All of these habits, stimulating your mind, engaging socially, eating brain-healthy foods, and staying hydrated come together like pieces of a puzzle. No one habit is a miracle cure, but together they create an environment where your brain can do what it's meant to do. Think clearly, remember fully, and support you as you live with purpose and presence. But here's something I really want to emphasize. Give yourself grace. The world around us moves fast. Technology changes every week. People are busier than ever, and sometimes it can feel like we're falling behind just trying to keep up. But your worth has never been measured by how fast you recall a name or whether you can remember the exact year a photo was taken. Wisdom isn't stored in sharpness, it's stored in presence, in life experience, in the way you make people feel when you speak. So if you feel a little slower some days, if you forget something here and there, don't beat yourself up. You are not broken. You are adapting just like you always have. That being said, it's also okay to ask for help when you need it. If memory loss starts interfering with your daily life, if you're forgetting important appointments regularly, struggling to follow conversations, or feeling disoriented in familiar places, it's important to reach out to a healthcare provider. Not because you should panic, but because catching things early gives you the best chance to make adjustments and stay in control of your well-being. Sometimes the issue might be something as simple as a vitamin deficiency, a medication side effect, or even poor sleep hygiene, all of which are fixable. But staying quiet out of fear can rob you of the opportunity to get the support you deserve. We've covered a lot, and I hope it's given you a clearer sense of what might be happening and what you can do about it. But there's still one more powerful strategy to talk about, one that brings everything we've discussed together and helps you create a daily rhythm that supports your brain, your body, and your spirit in a lasting, meaningful way. One of the most powerful things you can do right now, today, is build structure into your days. It might sound simple, but routine is one of the best friends your brain can have. When your days have a natural rhythm, your brain doesn't have to work so hard to keep track of what's coming next. That frees up mental energy for the things that really matter, like remembering names, focusing during conversation, or simply enjoying a good moment without feeling mentally drained. Think of it this way. Your brain is a little like a smartphone. If you leave a bunch of tabs open all day, texts, apps, notifications, it starts to lag. But when you close those tabs and give it a consistent pattern, it works faster and smoother. Waking up at the same time each day, having a morning routine, setting times for meals, walks, or reading, it all helps your mind stay anchored. You don't need a rigid schedule, just enough regularity to reduce decision fatigue and give your brain the gift of predictability. And that predictability becomes even more powerful when you add moments of joy and purpose into it. The brain thrives on meaning. It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be a small garden you tend to in the morning, a daily call with a friend or grandchild, a little journaling session at the same time each night. These aren't just feel-good activities, they're mental anchors. They keep you grounded, focused, and present. That's how you strengthen your mind, through connection, purpose, and consistency. If you've ever had one of those days where everything feels fuzzy, like your thoughts are covered in fog, ask yourself, when was the last time I had a moment that brought me real peace, or laughter, or the simple joy of being fully present with no pressure to perform? We live in a world that glorifies busyness, but as we get older, slowing down isn't a weakness, it's wisdom. It's your chance to tune into what your mind actually needs instead of pushing through like you might have done in your younger years. And sometimes what your mind needs isn't more stimulation, it's rest, rhythm, and reassurance. You are not losing your mind. You are learning to live with a mind that has carried you through decades of memories, love, heartbreak, discovery, and change. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's a brain that's earned a little extra kindness. So let's gently pull all this together. If you've been feeling forgetful, scattered, or anxious about what's happening in your mind, you're not alone. But you're also not powerless. You can support your brain by giving it what it needs: less stress, more rest, better food, steady hydration, daily movement, meaningful connection, and a bit of structure. And more than anything, you can stop judging yourself for the changes you're noticing. You can begin to honor your brain as something that's not just surviving, but adapting. It's evolving right alongside you, and it deserves your care, not your criticism. If today's video has helped you feel even a little more hopeful or understood, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What have you noticed about your memory or focus? What small changes have helped? When we open up, we give others the courage to do the same. And that kind of community support is something no supplement or exercise can replace. And if you haven't already, go ahead and tap that like button. It lets me know this kind of content matters to you. Subscribe to the channel for more down-to-earth, encouraging tips to help you feel strong, sharp, and supported in this incredible season of life. We've got so much more to share together. You'll also find links in the description below to a few helpful tools that can support your brain and body as you continue building these healthy habits. From hydration support to journaling resources and gentle self-care products, they're all chosen with you in mind. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today. You are doing better than you think. You are not alone, and your best days still have so much to offer. Here's to living with clarity, confidence, and peace at any age. I'll see you in the next video. It's already waiting for you. Just click on the screen and come along.